the Niners need to create cap space.
Mm-hmm.
They could cut people, but this is a family, coach. It's not just a team.
Right.
So they want to keep this group together, and to do so, they can restructure contracts to really just lock them in for longer and make them more palatable to the cap now. Who do you think is the Niners are most likely to restructure in the next few days? Remember,
I think
tampering period is like Monday. Sorry.
Right. I think the candidates for being restructured would be Travarius Ward or probably Fred Warner. Right now, Travarius Ward is due $18 million next year, and Fred Warner is due $24.4 million. Right there, that makes up for about 14% of the cap alone. So they're candidates for it also because of Travarius Ward. It seems as though that they need to add more at the position. So you might want to get him to kind of supplant some of his salary in the upcoming years. And he's not that old. You know, these are guys that are relatively on the back or probably like smack dab, I would say, in the middle of their primes. They're probably past the front end. And being able to restructure and probably get a lump sum and get paid some good money up front to take a little bit of a move. I think they would be glad to do it. Right now, we've looked at it over the 10 players in the salary cap right now make up 10 players in the salary cap for the 49ers make up over 72% of the cap. So they've really got to knock that down. I mean, we are the definition of top heavy. And
let's explain to people who don't exactly understand, because I'm one of them. I have a rudimentary understanding of cap rules. Restructuring a contract, is that you take their base salary and convert it to a signing bonus, and that changes what the cap hit is? I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that bonus is in the form of a lump sum. So what you do is you restructure the money on the back end, and they almost get a reward for money getting put up in the front end. So they get raw cash. Their contract gets bled out a little bit more, and then the restructured allocated years reshift the cap.
Okay. So I'm trying to think about this from the player's perspective. I don't think they really have a choice. I think they have to do this, or their agent agrees to it, whatever. And it would be better. I would prefer to get a signing bonus than game checks. But
definitely.
But is there something about like motivating factor? Like you just get a check at the beginning of the season. They say go play football, or would you rather have guys like playing for their game checks?
Well, you got to look at it this way.
Does it matter?
It does. I mean, everybody's situation is different. I know one thing about ball players is that they want consistency. That's the biggest thing about the name of the game. You don't want a short contract. You want longer years, and you want those years to be backloaded. So for me, if I was in a position of playing and I got a restructured contract, it'd be dope because it's like you get a lump sum up front, and if you really like where you are, it's like, all right, I like where I am. I may take a little bit of a pay cut on the allocated years on the back end, but I do get more years. And there's nothing like having stability in the NFL and being under contract. So, you know, there's many ways you can skin a cat, you know.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I got another name for you. So we agree on Travarius Ward, Fred Warner. These are like two of the most solid players in their prime that you figure are going to be here for a while. You're not going to worry about them in any way. Another guy making a lot of money, right around the same age, 27, 28. This guy's 28. Deebo Samuel. Really expensive this year. I mean, he's a captain. He's part of the inner circle. If you want him around long term, he'd be a perfect guy to restructure. You could create $15 million in cap space, but you got to really want him around long term. Some people, I mean, he's kind of polarizing on that one.
Yeah, I mean, and polarizing is the word, because I don't think there's anybody that's coming at this in like a balanced approach where they're like, maybe let's see how he does this year. I pretty much the response on Deebo Samuel getting either moved, restructured, or something happened to this $28 million that he's due is either resounding support, where, you know, shame on you for even raising the inference, or it's get him out of here. You know, he shouldn't even be, you know, he ain't worth the shoes that he's wearing, you know. But, you know, for me, I kind of feel like it's up to Kyle. as far as Debo is concerned, because he is directly linked to his usage and his importance to what Kyle thinks he can do, right? I mean, we can look at him traditionally for a wide receiver, and we can obviously say that he's not lived up to the billing for what he's paid and what he's supposed to be in this offense. However, his usage rate for what Kyle needs is always going to be the determining factor on whether or not he makes that money. The truth of the matter is this: once the turd gets bigger than the cat, it's time to get rid of the cat. You know what I mean? So it's like, we'll see how long Debo, we can put up with the stuff that we've seen Debo do and what his worth is, if it's worthy enough for him to be here to get paid. But we've been talking about it. We all, it's obvious that he should be the one that we restructure, but I really think they are going to pay him this money this year. I think they
28 million plus on the cap. I guess they can. It just seems like if you give him 28 million, if you don't restructure his contract, what does that say? Then they kind of want to keep the option open of trading him next year. So you're going to pay extra to keep your options open. It seems to me either trade him now or restructure him. Keeping him at 28 million is really expensive for a guy who is no longer the number one option in your offense. He was paid to be the number one option in your offense, but he's not.
Also, there is something. Sorry about that. There's also something to be said about what happened this year. All right, so we went to the Super Bowl, great year. We didn't get what we wanted, right? But one thing that we do have to start realizing about these contracts is that we were remarkably healthy this year.
Yep,
we were like one of the top 5 teams. Christian McCaffrey didn't miss a game. Like, who would have called that? You know what I'm saying? Purdy didn't get hurt. Guys, I mean, we had guys fall off, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But as far as injuries are concerned, we had most of our guys all year. Yep. I mean, I don't know if you can count on that every year. You know what I'm saying? And again, we just played 60 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
So
older team. It's the Niners.